Hello, everyone. We're just going to wait a few more minutes. We know it's just right at 7 o'clock, and it seems like people are joining us. And want to make sure that your mics and your cameras are shut off so that we don't get any feedback on the devices. My name is Dr. Lucinia Callagher. I am the director for first year houses as well in training, and I'm overseeing the RA selection. So welcome. We're excited to have you here tonight. And a few more minutes. I see we got a couple people, and then we're going to do some introductions. Most of the conversations are going to occur in the chat room. So if you go over to the chat room and click on everyone, you're going to be, that's where you would be able to write in some questions. And we have a host there who's going to be answering the questions along as we do the presentation. Just a few more minutes, wait for people to join, and then we'll get started. Just a few more minutes. We're going to get started in like 2 more minutes. It's 7:02. Again, my name is Dr. Lucinia Callagher. I am your moderator tonight, and we'll be doing introductions in just a few minutes. All right. We roughly have about 10 people in right now, so we'll get started. And welcome everyone to our RA info session. We're excited to have you here. And my name again is Dr. Callagher. I am the director for first year training and the first year houses and training. Sorry, messed that up. And also overseeing the RA selection process. If everyone could go into the chat room, that should be over on your right side. You can see that's where we're going to be having a moderator. Amanda Atkinson, who is the warehouse dean, is in there, and she'll be moderating the chat room for any questions that you might have as we go along. So we're excited to have you there. Amanda just said hi, everyone. So I will articulate when I'll get back into the chat room, and I'll speak out some of the questions and her answers in between the session as we go through. So don't worry. This is also I want to just let you know it's being recorded so that you can listen to it later if you just have to step out for a few minutes, or if you're like confused about some information, you can always return it. This is going to be posted by tomorrow on our YouTube channel. And so we're going to get started. Welcome. We're excited to have you here to learn more about the RA position. And we're going to get started with our presentation. And so we just did introductions. That is myself, Dr. Callagher, and Amanda is our moderator who's in the chat room. And so we're going to move forward to talking about why become an RA. And we're very excited about the RA positions, our resident advisors who are in our college houses. We have roughly about 96 RAs on staff throughout 12 college houses. So we're really excited. This is always our staffs are due. Their primary goal is to be reaching out to students and making those connections. And there's a lot of rewards and benefits of being an RA. And what's the best thing is to listen to our own staff members about what it means to be an RA and the benefits. So we're going to start with the rewards first, and hopefully you can hear this video.
I think my favorite moment was with a resident last year when they confided something in me that they hadn't told anyone else, and it felt like a really great moment of mentorship and trust building and relationship building. It's been rewarding in the sense that the more time I've put into the role, the more I've gotten out of it. There are so many different skills, but I would say one of the biggest ones is definitely learning how to communicate and really listen to our residents, especially when residents are going through a tough time, being able to actively listen to them and then helping them and showing empathy and showing that we are also going through similar things, and then directing them to different resources or just being a great friend or mentor to them. I think that's a big skill that anyone can take away.
I'm really excited about potentially mentoring students and helping them go around college, helping them, essentially get what they want in terms of like getting into certain clubs, advice on like internships, stuff like that at school.
When I was a second year, my RA, she's now my best friend, and that was probably the most memorable experience. To this day, she's one of the most important people in my life.
So we're very excited. Our staff are outstanding, and we're going to go to our next video. Sorry, I got a little stuck right there. Here we go. So we're going to go to our next video that talks about benefits.
So I think being an RA helps you develop new relationships with people, especially when there's a different power dynamic in it, and it helps you to sort of navigate those situations. You have people that you're meeting for the first time that are house deans or faculty fellows that are above you. You have freshmen or upperclassmen who are kind of below you per se in the hierarchy of where you're reporting to. So you have to balance those relationships, and that's important in any sphere, in the corporate world, in the medical world, in the academic world. You also have this ability to sort of deal with unexpected conflicts, and you learn how to keep your calm and composure when things get stressful or tough.
Oh, there's no reason why I wouldn't want to return. I mean, the experience I had my first year was absolutely incredible. One, I got to touch the lives of my residents and those in Ware, which is extremely rewarding given all the work that we put into it, but also the community that I've built with my other RA friends, other RA and GA friends, and with my house dean. It just feels like home. So coming back to that and being a part of that community again is an invaluable experience. It's definitely something that defines my experience at Penn and that I'm going to remember for years after this.
Wonderful. So we'll go right back into our, oops, sorry about this. There we go, into our next screen, past the benefits. And so we're going to continue talking about the benefits. And so these videos captured the experience of being an RA. Julie talked about being a returner, why it's important for her to have come back. She actually is continuing to be on staff as a GA as well. But in this screen, you can see the benefits of being an RA. You receive some programming funds. Each of the houses have a budget they're able to allocate to the RAs and the GAs to do programs that you want to attend to bring your students together and connect and help build a community. You get a single room. Make that space yourself. That's a big valuable individual experience that individuals like to have. Of course, that also comes with free housing. You get a meal allowance that allows you to have meals in our dining facilities, as well as dining dollars, $400 per year. We also want to include information here regarding student financial services. They provided this screenshot for you to see about the financial aid package. On the left side, you can see an estimate cost of attendance here at Penn. It has the tuition, the fees, housing, dining, and it breaks it down roughly to $78K. And then on the right side, you can actually see the packaging example. If you became an RA, depending on your financial needs, they take that budget of 78, and then they take away the housing allowance and give a budget of 67, and as well as consider about the parent and student contribution of 5,500. So you can get a sense of the benefits of being an RA from that financial aid package screenshot. We highly encourage you that if you do have financial aid or if that's something of concern, that you go over to Student Financial Services and have a conversation with them about the impact of being an RA on your package. So the timeline. All right. So we're very close to the timeline. This application opened December 2nd. Seems so long ago. The application and recommendations are online. Many of you have been already starting to put those applications together, and it is due tomorrow, Friday, January 17th at 11:59 p.m. The app closes. It says recommendations are due. We actually have extended that due to some technical difficulties with the recognition form. So recommendations will be due on January 31st before offers can go out. During the next 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks, is that interviews, then such interviews will be conducted by the houses and different types of interview processes. So upon the completion of the applications are reviewed by houses, and individual houses may make offers. So you may get an offer for an interview from one house and then a week later get an interview offer from another house. And each house has a different type of interview process. Some houses just have one interview. Some houses have a group process, then 1 or 2 interviews. So it's important to listen and read over the information given to you regarding each house process. At any time, if you have any questions or you're confused, you can always email us, and I'll provide that email at the conclusion. Then what happens is that by February 3rd, this has been updated too. February 3rd, I will be sending out, probably on the weekend, I'll be sending out an email to all candidates who've been interviewed, a link to the matching process. And we're going to watch a video about that matching process in a second, but you're going to need to have your ranking in by February 3rd. So this date's wrong. And then the houses also has that due. February 7th is when we actually get the offers sent out to our candidates, and then February 10th candidates are to be accepting the offers or declining. Then recommendations. Here's a few words about recommendations, and obviously some of you might be already been doing this, but we encourage you to ask early the person that you want to write a recommendation for. You should, you're not going to be able to get an offer until your recommendation's on file. That's definitely going to be the timeline. And so we highly encourage you to talk to your recommenders, asking them to make sure they get the form completed online. The way that the recommendation goes is that when you complete your application, you're going to be submitting the name and email of your recommender, and there's instructions for you to copy and paste and send them an email with the instructions. So it's your responsibility as a candidate to inform your recommender of the link to the form online. A letter of recommendation is optional; it's not required. But the form is required. And so you should be thinking about individuals that can talk to about your skill sets in dependability, integrity, communication, mentoring, equity, creativity, and teamwork. So actually, I'm going to go find that video regarding the match. But you can see the application link is at collegehousesupenn.edu/join. And if you click on the RA link, and I'm going to go through it right now, that's where you can get to where you can start your application. So let me go to our website, collegehouses.upenn.edu. And there, you're going to go over to Join Us. And over on the left side here, you can see it says Resident Advisor. And you're going to click on that. There, you can just go scroll down. You see Resident Advisor BNRA, and the next thing, your mouse will automatically turn into a button right here that you can click on that says Becoming an RA. The rest of here can also, that has more information here, right here, it says you can apply right here. You click right there. The videos that we saw are right here embedded. And once you click on here, you go right into Qualtrics and into the application. Some people can go, the application is open for you to go and review the questions and information, but it will not be considered submitted until you get right to the end of the application. So that it's important for you to go right through the application to the end and to submit it. So on your own time, you could go back and look through the application. I wanted to just showcase our website. If you click right next to the next button of Becoming an RA here, tells you more information. Here is an example of our contract. The 2021 contract will be updated very soon, but also will be sent to you when offers are made. And scrolling down, you can see information under FAQ. There's a lot of questions often asked, and they could be located right under our FAQ. It's important to just highlight our academic policy. That it's important to have a GPA of a 2.5 and be considered a full-time student at Penn. So here you can find lots of great questions that you might have regarding the position. Again, you go how to apply and it goes straight into applying. So the same link. So it's only 3 links. It's really fast. And it's easy to do. So that is that information. And here's the match video I wanted to show you. So questions always ask about after January 17th, what if I don't get an interview or an offer? Your application is considered active in our pool up to a year. And so at any time, if any additional openings occur or something else happens with another candidate, houses can go back into the pool to review, and you might get offered an interview or a position. Don't be discouraged that you don't get something right off the bat. Often something does occur during the summer or throughout the year, but that houses need to go back into the pool to consider additional candidates. So here it has information about if you do participate in interviews, you have an opportunity, then you'll be able to go in after on February 3rd. I'll be sending you a link actually over the weekend before February 3rd, that you could go into a Qualtrics form to rank the houses that you interviewed with. So let's go talk about the match. And I'm going to show this little video right now.
College Houses and Academic Services, or CHAS for short, uses a computerized mathematical algorithm similar to the Gale-Shapley algorithm to place RA candidates into houses. We use it to match candidates to their most preferred houses. The algorithm is candidate proposing, meaning it initiates placement of a candidate into a house based on the choices made on the candidate's rank order list. For a match to occur, both the candidate and house must rank each other. Once started, the algorithm attempts to match each candidate to the candidate's first choice. If that can't be guaranteed, the algorithm will try to match the candidate to the second choice, and so on until the candidate is matched or all choices have been exhausted. Each house runs their interview process their own way, so a group process may or may not count as an interview for the match process. Candidates can only rank houses with whom they have interviewed. When prompted to complete their rankings, a candidate will only have the option to rank houses who have indicated they interviewed that candidate. Let's run a match to see how it works. 5 candidates, Gus, Jordan, Connor, Jazzy, and Emma, and 3 houses, Harnwell, Ware, and New, submitted rank order lists. Each house has 2 openings. Starting with Gus, we see he ranked only Ware. Because the algorithm is candidate proposing, it will attempt to match Gus to Ware. Ware has ranked Gus second, and because there are no other tentative matches for Ware, Gus is tentatively matched to Ware. Matches are considered tentative because a candidate who is matched to a house at one point in the matching process may be removed from the house later to make space for a candidate ranked higher by the house. Jordan also ranked Ware first, and the algorithm attempts to match her there. Ware ranked Jordan third. Because Ware has 1 opening left, Jordan has tentatively matched to Ware. Connor also ranked Ware first. The algorithm attempts to match Connor to Ware, but because both openings are tentatively matched to higher ranked candidates, Connor can't match at Ware. The algorithm now attempts to match Connor to his second ranked house, New. New has ranked Connor third, and since there are no tentative matches for New yet, Connor is tentatively matched to New. Jazzy ranked Harnwell first, but Harnwell didn't rank Jazzy, so she can't match there. The algorithm moves to her second rank, Ware. Ware has ranked Jazzy, but Ware already has its 2 positions filled with more preferred candidates. She cannot match with Ware. The algorithm attempts to match Jazzy to her third rank, New, which has 1 unfilled position, so Jazzy tentatively matches with New. Finally, the algorithm attempts to match Emma. Emma has ranked Ware first, and Ware has ranked Emma first. Emma receives a confirmed match because she's the candidate most preferred by Ware. There's no chance she will be displaced later in the process. However, since Ware has only 2 openings, a candidate must be removed from Ware to make room for Emma. That candidate is Jordan because she is the least preferred candidate on Ware's rank order list. The algorithm will now attempt to match Jordan to her second rank, Harnwell. Harnwell hasn't ranked Jordan, so she does not match to any house. The process is now complete and the match is final. All candidates except Jordan have matched to their most preferred choices possible. Although all of Jordan's choices have been attempted, she didn't match in Ware because Gus and Emma were ranked higher by Ware, and she couldn't match with Harnwell because Harnwell didn't rank her at all. Ware and New filled all of their positions, but Harnwell is left with both positions unfilled. Harnwell didn't use the match to its advantage because it submitted a short rank order list. Connor, Jazzy, and Emma used the match to their advantage by ranking all acceptable houses at which they interviewed in their preferred order to maximize their chances of matching. Gus took a real risk by ranking only Ware. Data show that candidates with short lists have a higher likelihood of being unmatched. Once the match is complete, matched candidates will get one offer from their matched house. Candidates who did not match will be invited to keep their application active should future openings occur. We hope this video has given you all the details you need for a successful candidate match. We invite you to visit our website for more information and to submit an application. If you have questions, please email us.
Right. And that was our own Amanda Atkinson, who is in our chat room right now mediating. So thank you so much, Amanda, with that video. So wonderful. So that concludes our part of the presentation. We're going to go back and look through some of the questions that might be posed in the chat room. So this is the opportunity to ask any additional questions that you might have regarding the position, the timeline, the responsibilities of the position. So we'll just wait and see if anyone would like to go into the chat room and ask any questions. All right, so we got our first batch of questions. So one person asked about how much of a disadvantage do we think that sophomore applicants have, considering that they're the youngest in the pool? Actually, that would be debatable about the youngest. We don't know how old the individuals are in the pool, but in the sense of like academic standing, I think that's what you're asking. But we definitely know that we have certain houses. Amanda wrote that Ware loves sophomore candidates. The sophomore candidates, and we have hired sophomore RAs, and they contribute greatly to the position. Really, at the end of the day, it's about your skill set. It's about your knowledge, about your desire to serve other students and help them be connected to the university is what we're seeking for, your dependability, your ability to work in as a team member. So it really does not matter what year you are as much about the quality of candidate that you are. I could tell you that roughly we have 96 RAs on staff and about roughly, it's hard, actually, I probably forgot about the breakdown, but about like 1/3 of each class that we have, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And then we have roughly about 110 graduate of associates, GAs, and they range greatly from 1-year master's students to 7-year plus PhD students. Amanda added that keep in mind that each house has their own process. A sophomore may have a harder time in one house and an easier time in another. It really depends on the qualities of what a house dean is looking for. And so, for example, some houses don't even hire RAs. So we have Du Bois and Stouffer are two houses that don't even have positions for RAs. They only hire graduate associates. So they won't be looking for RA candidates. And so that just be mindful that different houses have different needs for their student populations. Additional question that just popped up is, do you have to apply to a program community? No, you're not have to apply to any specific population. Our application actually just shows preferences. We asked for you to write in if you prefer to work with a certain population of students, first-year students, mixed class students, upper class only, as well as that if you're interested in a certain program community, that you'll be able to articulate which ones that you're interested in and serving as a potential RA. Amanda actually just wrote in that programming varies a lot from house to house. There's a great question to ask in your interview. And then some houses, actually, you may have the program communities listed, but may not be hiring for that community because it's going to be filled through a returning RA or a graduate associate, GA. So that's a good question. Is really thinking for you is to think about what is it that you desire as a candidate, as a staff member, what population of students you would like to work with, what are some skill sets that you're bringing, and some interests that you have that you might be able to contribute to the house. And again, next good question. So next question posed is, how much freedom do RAs have in hall programming? Are they allowed to plan trips, invite speakers, etc.? Amanda responded, programming varies a lot from house to house. That's a great question to ask in your interview. It's an excellent question. And you've probably seen it in your own houses. The house newsletters articulates different types of programming that the house does or the RAs do. Most RAs and GAs have some type of office hours or community tour hours where they're bonding with the community. They have some type of event. So really is dependent on what the house focus is regarding what they would like to, for programming. That's an excellent question to ask during an interview. Good question. All right, the next question that gets posed in the chat room is, when do RAs return to campus for the fall semester? Excellent question. And so we have, our contract is getting updated with the dates and information. We follow our academic calendar, and so we usually the way that we determine the calendar of when RAs have to come back, it depends on when school and an NSO begins. And so next year, school begins on the 25th of August, and it's hard to think that back. So ahead. So RAs are going to be required to come on campus on August 14th of 2020. That Friday they get to move in, and then we start training that weekend, and house happens first. And then we have a whole week of programming and training that occurs when we move right into early move-in for our students, and our international students arrive, and NSO. So it's a very busy time period for us. So it's really important that we have our RAs on staff and in the houses ready to welcome their students. Amanda wrote down that the individual, the person's name is Frondo, is killing it with these questions. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. As we wait for any more questions, we could go back to looking at our FAQs website here that has a list of all these types of questions, eligibility, how many RAs are hired year to year. It gives you a little breakdown of like where they're placed, except for Du Bois and Stouffer, which is what we just spoke on. If you're a submetric student, that's a good question right there about submetric, is that only students enrolled in submetric programs are only eligible to hold the GA position once we validate that you finish all your RA, the undergraduate requirements. And so this might be more for individuals who are thinking into the master's program, or if you have a submetric status. Other questions that might come up, here's that time commitment, about roughly 15 to 20 hours a week. We ask the RAs and GAs to be able to provide services to their students. This, of course, varies in the houses as well as the time of year. August and September, the fall semester is a little bit more active than potentially maybe right now in the starting of the spring semester. So it really comes and flows, and we call them hills and values that comes up and down. Again, here's information around financial aid. We want you to make sure you go to financial services to learn a little bit more about the impact of the RA position on your package. There's information here regarding interviewing. And another common question that gets brought up during info sessions about how do I get housing if I apply to be an RA and not offered. We tell candidates that it is their own, it's a separate process. And so we highly encourage you to apply for housing on campus at the same time you're applying for the RA position. Once you get offered and accept the RA position, your housing contract gets canceled. But we don't want you to be out of housing next year just because you're waiting to find out if you're going to be an RA. Wonderful. Okay. Well, there doesn't seem to be any more questions coming out of our chat room. Again, if you have any additional questions that you can't find online and you didn't hear during this info session, you can email us at askraga@lis.upenn.edu. And we highly encourage you to consider applying for the BNRA. We got 24 hours until that application comes to a close. And we wish you good luck in the process. And good luck to this beginning of the semester. Thank you, everyone.